Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Today's the Springtime Floral Crochet Afghan. I'm going to demonstrate the square today, and there's going to be some assumptions as well that you'll understand how to whip stitch, which I will provide a video if you're following us back to the Crochet Crowd. Also, Yarnspirations YouTube channel has videos on how to whip stitch, and then I'll also cover the basics of the border. So without further ado, let's just dive a little bit harder into this pattern and let's get yourself started today. So what makes this pattern really quite fabulous is that there's 7 different colors, and when you look at the Afghan, there's lots of different ideas going into play. There's also a crochet diagram that you can that we're going to follow, and you can kind of see how it's laid out as well. So it's going to look really quite unique. There is a somewhat pattern to it. Of course, you can play any way that you would like to. You can see the different color combinations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 that you would like to do, or you can just freeform it and do whatever you think is right for you. So it's a really kind of a fun pattern to do. The whip stitching is just going in the back loops only when you go to whip stitch it, and I'll provide a tutorial on the article in the Crochet Crowd if you would like that. And then we're just gonna cover the border really quick as well. And without further ado, we're gonna grab our hook now, and I'm just gonna use 4 sorted colors in order just to see how it's gonna turn out. And of course you can be more strategic with your colors when you go. So without further ado, let's take a look closer at the diagram, and that's on page number 2, and then we'll get started from that point. So in the diagram, this is what we have. We have round number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you follow the instructions as well, you can see that there's 6 rounds here. So if you understand how to read diagrams, this actually gets really quite easy to play. Also, you can see that there are overlays that are happening here, so you just want to pay attention to that and how that's going to work out, and it's actually going to be really quite fun. So you can see all the different ideas here when it comes to the different abbreviations that you have. Once you come to understand and use these more, it gets a lot easier because you can understand the repetition of when you see it. So there's a lot of trebles in this particular project that we're gonna do, so that means it's gonna grow out pretty good, and we're gonna get ourselves started. So when we go to follow this, we're gonna follow this in a counterclockwise position, and you can tell that by where the slip stitch is. So the slip stitch is usually the last thing on a round to do. So the slip stitch, if it's the last, and the chaining is usually the first, then you can follow. So it can be drawn in any direction, but in this case it will be counterclockwise. So without further ado, let's grab our first color and let's begin. So let's begin. We're going to create a slip knot and then form a center ring. So insert your hook in, and we need to chain a total of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And once you have your 6 done, then just insert your hook into the beginning one, yarning over, pulling it through and through like that. And now we're gonna begin officially round number 1. We're now going to start officially doing the sides. So we're gonna chain up 4 first. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That counts as a treble. So chaining 4 counts as a treble. We want to put in 5 more trebles. So with this one and the 5, it gives you a total of 6. So wrap in the hook twice, and you're going to go into the center of the ring, pull through 2 and 2 and 2. As I mentioned, it's going to be tall stitches. So wrapping it twice and going into the center of the ring. So you should be able to count 6, and that includes that chaining 3 before you move on and do the next side. Just like that. So you can see that there's 6. Now you're gonna chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the center ring I want you to put in 6 more trebles. So I want you to do this all the way around until you can see that there's 4 corners, and then I'll see at the end of this round we'll just keep this. So don't change the color off. We're gonna keep this color going on into round number 2. So eventually you'll come all the way around. You have 6, 6, 6, and 6. Chain 3 to do the final corner, and then slip stitch to the top of the chain 4. And then that will conclude that. Now if you went over top of the straggler, now's the time to get rid of it. So just turn it over. If you didn't, just use a tapestry needle, hide it in, and then cut it. But if you can go over, you can save a lot of time. So let's move on to round number 2. Let's keep this color in play for another round. Let's begin round number 2. We're going to start up, and we want to put these 6 together as one stitch. So to do the first one, we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're gonna do the next one 5 together double or trebles, 5 together treble. So in the rest it'll be 6 together trebles. It's just because we have to start somewhere, so we have to chain 4 to begin. So wrapping the hook twice, going into the next stitch, just go right in, pull through, but don't finish it, just pull through 2 and 2 and hold. So 2 and 2 and hold, just keep that in your mind. So wrap the hook twice, going into the next stitch, pull through 2 and 2 and hold. Wrap twice, next stitch, pull through 2 and 2 and hold. Next stitch, and the final stitch. So because it's the very first one, you're gonna have 6 loops in the hook. The rest of them there will be 7. So we're gonna pull through all 6 of those loops right now, and then we're going to chain a total of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slip stitch to the next chain 3 space. So just slip just to hold it in a position, and then chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do with these 6, and we're gonna put those together. So wrap and wrap, and going into the first stitch, pull through 2 and 2 and hold, and keep doing that. So now that we've already started, these will all have 7 loops left on the hook. So usually I just like to pound them out, and I use the hook as my reference point for counting. You can decide what works for you. So now I can see that there's 7 here and all are in place. So pull through and then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch to the next chain 3. So do you see how that's working? And then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, put them together, chain 5, slip stitch to the next, and then put the last one together, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So just keep on going with what you know. When you come back around, you've just now slip stitched in the last one here, but we're not done. We still have to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and finish off at the top of the first one that you put together, so that you can keep it all looking consistent. So you're gonna have these chain 5 spaces that are on either side of the decreasing that you have. To get rid of this color, what you want to do is just snip your yarn, snip it long enough so that you can do things and hide it in a position. If you can hide it within chains and then trap it underneath stuff, it's awesome, but if not, then you'll use a tapestry needle. In my case, I'm just gonna hide it through the chain, and I'm kinda looking at the pattern of where I'm gonna be able to trap this into position. And if it doesn't hold, just leave an extra long tail, and then you'll use a tapestry hook or tapestry needle later. Let's move on to round number 3. So let's begin the third round. So what we want to do is that just create a slip knot and put it onto the hook, and I want you to go in between one of these sections here. So right at the top, so if you look at it from a corner point of view, just go right into the top of the corner where everything comes together, and you're just gonna slip stitch there, and that'll help you get started. Now in this chain 3 space right here is where we're gonna reach over to. So we're gonna go right into this chain 3 space, going right up over top of this chain 5 that we did before. So you're still gonna do trebles, and you're going to do 3 trebles first. Now see where it's slip stitched like that. So the first 3 are going to, and the next chain 1 and next 3 are gonna go on this side right here of that, and then the other part of the corner will go on this side. So just wrapping twice, just stay on the one side, and you're going to treble a total of 3 times. Go right up over top of that straggler so you can hide it in a position. Just like that, and then chain 1 and put 3 more trebles into that same one. So we're building it out and then forming a new corner. Okay, so that all happened on the one side. So now what we want to do is that we want to turn. So to do the turn, we're going to do a total of chaining 2. So let's chain 2, and then what we want to do then is repeat what we just did, but again in that same spot. So we can start trebling. So put 3 trebles in first. So 1, 2 and 3. But we're not done. We're gonna chain 1 and then in the same spot just move things around if you need more space. And we're gonna do it 3 more times. So 1, 2 and 3. So that was one whole new corner that was just been built out. So you're gonna slip stitch to the top of the next grouping of the 6 here, slip stitch in, and then start another corner so you can see how it's changing. So in this one here, stay on the one side of it first and then jump to the other. So start with 3 trebles. So 1, 2 and 3, followed by chain 1 and then 3 more. So 1, 2 and 3, and now we're officially gonna turn. So to turn we chain 2 and then coming back into the same spot, 3 trebles first. So 1, 2 and 3. But we're not quite done. We're gonna chain 1 and put 3 more in. So I'm gonna rely on you to do the other 2 corners just like this, and then I'll see you at the end of this round. And remember to slip stitch to the top of the next grouping that you have, like that. So that's kind of what it's gonna look like so far, and I'll leave the rest of this round for you. So starting off, just put in your 3, chain 1, 3 again, chain 2, 3, chain 1, 3 again, and I'll see you at the end of this round. When you get all the way back around, you're just gonna slip stitch to where you started with in the beginning, and then that's it. So you're gonna fasten off this yarn, and these squares, if you notice that color 1 is reintroduced again in the next round. So if you really look at the squares, see, if you really look carefully, you can see that color 1 is the inside, and then it has a little bit of a jetting out, which is the color 2, and then color 1 is then brought back in. You can see that here. So we're gonna reintroduce color 1 once again. So get rid of this yarn, fasten off, and I'll see you at the next section. So let's start the next round. We're gonna start on the top peak of one of these right here. Do you see that? And just going in, and you're just gonna attach with a slip stitch and chain a total of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is your first treble. You're gonna treble 5 more times into that same one, so that gives you the total count of 6. And just keep adding more and more. Okay, so I can see I have 5. And then once you have this done, you were then going to continue to move on, and you were going to reach to the chain 2 space, which is the corner, and you were going to apply the following. You're gonna apply 6 trebles, chain 2, 6 trebles again, and then that'll allow you to turn. So let's just do it quietly here. So we'll do the first one. So we're doing our first 6. And then once that 6 is done, chain 2. That allows you to turn, and in the same one, 6 more trebles. Once you have your 6, you were then just gonna reach over. You're in the middle section just like you were over here, and in the top one here you've done the slip stitching. You were going to apply 6 in there. Okay, so then you're moving to the next corner. You see that there? So it'll be 6, chain 2, and then 6. Those are all trebles, and continue to do that all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of this round. When you've done the last corner, all you just need to do is reach over to the top of the chain 4 and stop it. Just slip stitch and then just weave in your cut your yarn and then weave in your ends, and this is what it looks like so far. Let's continue into the next round. Let's begin the next round, and next round we're going to introduce some fun colors. I'm just like randomizing. So I'm going to just go into a chain 2 space of a corner. Doesn't matter which corner, just choose one, and let's slip stitch it, but I'm gonna show you a little technique. So you could either slip stitch, chain 1 and 1 single crochet in, or what I love to do is just create a slip knot, insert the hook, and go into the chain 2 space and then yarning over, pulling it through, but don't pull through that first loop, and then pull through the 2, and that's a standing single, so you can decide to do which one you like. So you're gonna chain 2, and just in the same space you're going to single crochet. So the corners will be 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1 single crochet. You're now going to single crochet across the top here, and in between the 2 you're going to reach down into this section here. Remember when we did the chain 1 there and split those? That's where that comes into play. So just start crocheting. So just single crochet and look for when it jumps from one section to another. So this is where it jumps. So now you're just gonna do a double crochet around this space here. So just going in, so just going in, go right up over top, give it a little bit of slack, and then finish it. So it's a double crochet that comes down, and now starting in the very next one, just single crochet across. And when you see it stopping to jump down, so, you're gonna jump down, so just wrap, give it a little bit of slack, and then finish that double crochet, and then just carry on. So you can see that's gonna pop out into the work like you see it. So the corners, do you remember what those are? They're 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1 single crochet, and then turning it. So single crochet, and then make sure you jump down in between, and etc. So please do this all the way around. So I'm just coming up all the way to the end, and then I'm just gonna slip stitch to the first single crochet and finish. And then we're gonna do one more round, which will be the final round as we do this together. So let's begin the final round. So let's begin the final round. I want you to choose the first single crochet before you turn the corner, and just insert your hook in, and I need you to slip stitch, so pull through and through, and chain 2, and that chain 2 doesn't count as anything, it's a builder. So in the same spot I want you to apply a double crochet, and then we're gonna move on to the corner. So the corners in this one now in the chain 2 space will be 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. Now here's the thing, when we move across this, each stitch is going to be a double crochet with the exception to the one that drops down, and that's there. So let me get there. So it's just 1 double crochet in each. So the next one is the drop down in. So when you go to do that one, it's gonna be a front post treble. So wrap the hook twice, and then going into the side and out the other side, pull through 2, 2, and 2 back to the top. So that raises that up, and then you just continue to double crochet. So whenever there's a drop down, you're just going to do that and just pick it up with the front post treble crochet, and then keep on moving on. Remember what the corners are: 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, and then I'll see at the end of this round, and then we'll just do a recap on how to assemble this blanket, and then we'll just quickly cover the border as well. So make sure you do your front post trebles when you pass that. When you get all the way back around, you've already completed your corner, so and that was way over here, but you're just gonna slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet that you did. So that's it. So you want to do a set number of squares, and we're going to cover that next. Get rid of any yarn tails that you're going to want to do. When you go to whip stitch this together, you could also single crochet it together if you want to as well, but whip stitching is the best on how to get it to look. And just make sure you get rid of all your yarn tails, and I would do that now versus waiting to the end of the afghan and then you have all of your squares. So if you've tried to cover them over, you pretty much can just cut them out if you feel confident with that. I've been crocheting a long time. I like to find areas where I can hide. The only one I can't do is using the end, and we're gonna just use a tapestry needle for that. But if you couldn't hide it any other way, here's what I would do, is that with the tapestry needle, you'll want to do this when you're whip stitching as well. Just run it through the back side of it in 3 times. So just pulling it, and when you pull, don't change the shape, just pull taut but not to the point where you're tugging on it, and then go back and forth 3 times, and then it's good to go. So I'm now gonna just cover quickly the whip stitching, and then we'll also touch on the border as well. Once you have all your squares ready, you're gonna see that it's lined up so it's 6 wide by 7 tall. If you want to change it, just eliminate this out, but you can see the design here. It actually kind of makes sense once it's all laid out, but again, you could be random. I would be more inclined to be random, but that's just me. So once you're ready to do that, you want to do whip stitching. So what I like to do when I go to whip stitch is that I like to put 2 pieces together, make sure the right sides are facing up, and just go along all the way across to the other side, and then do the next one and next one and next one. So you'll have it all attached in one direction. Then I would turn it sideways and then whip stitch this way all the way on the other side. So I just don't whip stitch one and then just pick up the others. I do it incrementally like that, so that it just it gets a lot easier. So that's what I would do. And when you go to whip stitch, what I'd recommend when you do this, stay on the back loop only. And if you stay on the back loop of this one plus its partner, you can have the same nice flat look, so that you don't have any eye-popping seam lines. In the sense, when I say seam like a window, or actually it's more like a window pane, instead of leaning up, it'll stay completely flat. So you want to choose the color that makes sense for you. In my case, because I can get a little manic with my colors, and I mean that in a nice way, but it's kind of what bugs me if it's not aligning properly. I might actually do 1 layer more of just single crocheting, just 1 single crochet in the corner, chain 2, 1 single crochet, and I might just do all the same color for every single one of these. So when I go to whip stitch them, I don't need to worry about my colors and matching, and it was something that I would do if you were me and I were you. So that's something that I'd like to do. So let's just cover the border, and the border is really quite simple. There are a total of 2 rounds, and 2 rounds to start. So it's gonna be 1 double crochet in each, and in the corners it'll be 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. We then have to worry about the last edge. So when you whip stitch, have everything around, you're gonna go just evenly space out your double crochets, and in the corner it's gonna be 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. Eventually you'll have the picot edging, which will be the final round, and in the final round what's gonna happen here is that we're gonna be playing in. So let's just start a stitch. I can start any one, and I'm gonna do my standing single crochet because that's what I like. And when we go to do this, you're going to put in your single crochet and chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then second chain from the hook, just single crochet back. Sorry, not single crochet. Yeah, it is single crochet. So single crochet back, and then skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next, and that's how you're gonna do it. So now that I've single crocheted in, then I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, second chain from the hook, single crochet back down. There's only 2 of them, and then just skip the next one and single crochet in the next. And you're gonna do that all the way around, and you'll do that even in the spaces, so that it will just completely follow around the edge of that. And if you do it in the right colors, it actually can look really amazing. So after the squares are done, you've just gone around 2 rounds of just double crochet, and this will be the final, and that would be how you would do that. And it's actually really kind of a beautiful afghan. And when I say kind of, it is a beautiful afghan. So until next time, it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd, as well as our friends over at yarnspirations.com.